What's up, everybody? I just took a really good nap, Good Friday nap, and I felt like coming out here to the Tetons and making a video. Those are the Teton Mountains. It's a little hazy right now. There must be a wildfire going on somewhere, but it's just a beautiful sight. I wanted to come out here and make a video, a little update of what's been going on, and if I can help one person, that'd be fantastic in my book. And so today's lesson, I kind of wanted to talk about how in my own personal life, I have a shadow man and he wants all kinds of stuff. He's ego, pride, he wants money, chicks, just everything, booze, sex. I mean, he's nasty, and I have him inside of me, and sometimes he takes over. And it's a shame because I never get anything done when that guy's in control. And like all of us, we have ups and downs in life. Sometimes I grab the reins again. All the time I grab the reins again. Through God's infinite mercy, he always reaches out to me and tries to show me my own stupidity. He says, "Tom, what are you doing? You're off the trail again." And he sends messengers along my life to remind me that I'm nothing. That I'm nothing without Jesus Christ. Without Jesus Christ, I cannot do anything. And so, for a while, I've let the shadow man just run amok, and he's made me super insecure and depressed. And I'm trying to grab onto him as tight as I can and make him powerful, but he's nothing. He's not powerful, and he'll never be anything, because when that side of me takes over, it's God's not in control. I think that I'm in control, but through all this coordination of people coming into my life and reminding me about Christ, because sometimes I get so full of pride and ego and I think that my accomplishments are mine. I humble myself and I realize, God, I'm off the trail again. And immediately, Jesus Christ enters into my heart and into my mind and starts getting to work on me and, saying, "Hey, Tom, wasn't that a crazy ride? Yeah, you see how you didn't do anything? You see how you didn't accomplish anything? Just, submit yourself to me." And I do. And I submit myself, and immediately I'm full of power. Immediately I'm full of happiness, and I'm full of connection. I'm full of everything good, full of the Spirit, and just I'm relaxed. My nervous system's even relaxed. And that's just what I wanted to talk about today, is just whoever you are, wherever you are in life, just hand over the reins to Jesus Christ, because the sooner you do, the better. The sooner you give your life to Jesus Christ, the better, because when your shadow man's in control, you might think you're making progress, but deep down you feel the hollowness. Deep down you feel the powerlessness. Deep down you feel the insecurity. And when you got Jesus Christ, when you submit, you have his power flowing through you, which is confidence, which is happiness. I was just driving over here down to the Tetons laughing for absolutely no reason, because inside I just feel this well of living happiness and water flowing all over me. And I didn't even do anything to earn it. I went to church and I prayed. Like I said, I took a great nap and I prayed for myself and for all my loved ones. I asked God to just protect them. And I took a nap and I feel 110% recharged because of the Holy Spirit. And I realized that I just get in the way. Everything about me is just getting in the way of what God's trying to do in my life. My ego and my pride and all the stuff that I try to manipulate is just getting in the way of what God has got for me in my life. So I'm not here to say that I'm never going to make a mistake again. I'm not here to say that I'm perfect or anything. I'm just saying, I hope. There's just so much evil in the world. I was laying in bed after my nap, and all this evil was being reminded how evil the world is. All the murder, all the kidnapping and sex trafficking, and people that are deleting themselves daily. We're surrounded by evil daily. And sometimes I'm in my own little bubble where I forget that there's a whole world of suffering. There's a whole world of ignorance, of people that don't have knowledge of Jesus Christ. They don't have the right guidance to Jesus Christ. And so we're all kind of walking around blind, deaf, and dumb and thirsty when there's a well of living water right here. And so when I woke up, I was reminded of all the evil, and I thought, and I heard the Spirit say, well, why don't you just go to the mountains and make a video? Because one person's going to watch and maybe surrender. One person's going to watch and surrender their spirit over to God, because I don't know, man. I can do nothing without Jesus Christ, and that's the truth. When my shadow man takes over, I think that I'm accomplishing so much, but really it's just sand castles. And here comes the wave, and it's gone. I can't accomplish anything. The connections I make with women are just full of lust, and they're not. There's no spirit in them. There's no life in them. When I make money and I don't have Jesus Christ, I'm hollow and depressed, because money is not the source of happiness. You can go to the gym all day long, and if you're sensitive, if you're spirit sensitive, you see the need out there. There's guys acting tough and girls acting, all sexy, and everyone just wants to be validated, and nobody, wants to give an inch, and there's just full of pride and ego. And you look at the news, people are hurting each other. And I want to live a peaceful life, man. I want people to enjoy Jesus' peace. We weren't meant to come down here and just go to war on each other, try to destroy each other. That's what the natural man wants to do. I get it. But the Spirit, the Spirit doesn't want that for you. There's enough for all of us. God's got oceans and oceans and oceans of prosperity. We don't have to do so much just to get our slice. But anyways, I was thinking about all the evil in the world. I was thinking about all the good in the world. There's missionaries out there. There's people catching the wrong people that shouldn't be on the streets. There's a lot of evil going on. And I just truly believe it's every Christian's job to preach. It's every Christian's job to talk about their experiences. Being a Christian doesn't mean you're just always going up. Being a Christian means sometimes you got to fall flat on your face so that you can learn a lesson, that you can share that lesson with other people as you're coming up. And pretty soon you're going to fall on your face again. And we're just, it says a righteous man falls down 7 times, gets up 8 times. And so just don't quit. In my own life, I'm not quitting with my trading. I'm not quitting with pursuing the right woman for me. That's going to be a nice, perfect click with me. Whatever woman has in store, whatever woman the Lord has in store for me, whatever finances the Lord trusts me with, I'm just never going to quit in any of those arenas. And I value going to heaven. Not a lot of people really give a rip about that. Not a lot of people care. Not a lot of people think about it. They don't think about going to heaven. They don't think about hell. They don't think about eternity. But I've experienced eternity many times through dreams and through actually being on the planet. I've experienced what eternity feels like when you're absent of time and it just goes on forever. I've experienced what that feeling feels like. And it's not a good experience if it's a dark eternity. It's a great experience if it's eternal peace with Jesus Christ. And I'm just looking out for people, man. I just hope that somebody watching this can have a change of heart. Humble yourself. In a world of pride and ego and all this puffed up stuff, just humble yourself. Just let your shoulders down. Just humble yourself. We're just a bunch of people passing through. None of this stuff is even ours. Everything you've acquired is because God has given it to you. It's a gift from God. Nobody here is anything special. The only person that's special is Jesus Christ. And yeah, I just hope somebody has a turn of heart. Maybe you just need a reminder like this. Maybe you're lost in your shadow man right now, full of pride and arrogance. and you're just grasping at the wind, trying to get your little life in order. And maybe you just need, now's a good reminder to remind yourself that you're nothing without Jesus Christ. And his yoke is easy. Right now, my whole chest feels light. My heart feels light. I just feel the Spirit dwelling inside of me, and it feels amazing. I wish I would get out of my own way and say that I can always have the Holy Spirit, but I know who I am. I know I will have my slip-ups, but yeah, just I wanted to make this for one person, and I, for whatever reason, God has just shown me so much grace throughout my life, and I'm grateful for it. And also, I did have a dream about 2 months ago where I had a meeting with Jesus, and he had a messenger come to me and say, Jesus wants to see you. And I thought, what? There's no way Jesus is here. And so we were walking through this tall wooded area, and from here to like 30 feet away, I could see Jesus behind a tree, but all I saw at first was his robe, the back of his robe, like where his heels were. And just looking at that little piece of robe just ignited a fire inside of me of happiness. I would literally just started crying immediately just looking at that robe, because that's how powerful this God is. You know, the God that made these mountains, that made all this beauty, you know, by speaking it into existence. You can only imagine how much power Jesus Christ has. And so when I saw his white robe, it was more beautiful than looking at those mountains. It was more beautiful than looking at the beaches in Hawaii, the crystal blue water. Just seeing that little robe just made me cry like a little baby. And then when I finally got up to him and I started talking to him, he was my age. He was young. You know, he died at 33. I'm 32 right now. He was young and beautiful. He was nothing like I've ever seen him described or pictured on any paintings. He looked different. He looked full of life. He was beautiful to look at. And I can't remember our whole conversation, but at the very end he said, "You gotta go now. Thomas, I will be coming soon." He said, "I am coming soon." And then I woke up from the dream, and I woke up I was crying the whole time. I don't even think I got to say anything to him because I was just in tears. And you can think of some people in scriptures that were around Jesus Christ back when he was alive, and they were just crying because the gratitude is too powerful. It's overcoming. It's the gratitude for your life, the gratitude of everything he's done for you is so powerful. You just can't help it but weep. You know, that lady that was washing Jesus' feet was crying, and one of the Pharisees said, "Why do you let this lady wash why do you let her be around you," or something like that. And so Jesus said, there was a man that had two debtors. One owed him like $500 and the other owed him $1 million. And when Jesus forgave them both, when the man forgave them both, who do you think loved him more? And the Pharisee guy said, well, the person that was forgiven more. And so that is, when you realize how much you're forgiven, how much grace there is for you, that's exactly why, that's where all the love is. That's why I love Jesus Christ so much, because I know how much I've been forgiven. I know what I've done. I've done some pretty heinous things in my life that I would never speak about because I'm so ashamed. And when you know you've been forgiven much, you love much. And so that's my message. It's a reminder that Jesus could come at any time, and that the pleasures that the shadow man wants, they might seem like they're nice, it might seem like you conquered something, but it's nothing. Without Jesus Christ, you can accomplish nothing. And that's his own words. So, and whenever you do submit, when the day comes if you submit on this side of life or you submit on the next side, because every knee will bow before Jesus Christ. If you do find yourself submitting on this side, you're going to have a lot more peace anyway. And life is just, you're just going to see all the synchronicities that God's going to store up for you in this life to make your journey here very pleasant and just more enjoyable. Jesus Christ came to give us life abundantly, you know. And so I know I say it a million times, but that's why I made this video today, just so one person can maybe have a turn of heart. And if not, you know, I hope you have a great day anyways, wherever you are. And I'm super grateful for Jesus Christ. I want to make that really clear. And I also want to make it really clear that I'm just a man at the end of the day, and I will probably slip up. I will probably, shadow man could come around, and the flesh might take over. But for right now, the flesh is subdued and the Holy Spirit lives inside of me. And that's how I like to keep it. That's how I want to keep it. Because eternity is a long time, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So I hope you guys can be saved through Jesus Christ. God bless you wherever you are. Jesus is coming soon. Take care.